Okay, so we've established that a hypothesis is a claim that is meant to be subjected to some investigation in order to ascertain whether that claim should be accepted or not.
Or no?
So that's what hypothesis is. And the example we're looking at previously is a situation whereby, a scientist comes up, I want to challenge what we already believe to be the value of the to be the value of gravitational the value of gravity, the force of gravity. Okay, so that will be an example. Okay, there are other generally accepted things. For example, the belief that let's say it could be, for example, in a school, let's say it has always been taken that the boys are more intelligent than the girls. Okay.
Okay.
And then one female scientist gets angry about that and wants to prove that it's not correct and has a facts, and then she gets her facts, puts up a fight against that belief. Okay. Then what will be the null hypothesis? The null hypothesis will be what was generally believed by the school stakeholders before that time, which is that the boys are doing better academically. Okay. Then samples can be taken and tests can be carried out to prove whether indeed the boys are not doing better than the girls. Okay, so that's an example of, these are examples of hypothesis. Another example would be a case where someone comes up and claims that he has discovered a drug that can cure some incurable disease. Okay. Now, before that claim comes up, it has been believed that that disease does not have cure. Okay. So this person comes up with a drug that he believes can cure the disease. Now, such drug will not just be accepted because the scientist has talked nicely or something. No. Okay, so it has to be tested. In such a case, okay, let me ask you, in this kind of situation, what would be the null hypothesis?
Sorry?
In this situation, the example I just gave, what will be the null hypothesis?
The general belief of the existing drug that can cure is it infection, you said?
Yeah, okay. I said, what is the null hypothesis now? Yes.
That would be the null hypothesis.
Which is?
HO.
Reject the null hypothesis.
Yeah. What is the null hypothesis? Okay, let me explain. Let me explain it. Let me explain what I said again.
Okay, bring back the example.
I said, suppose that a particular drug, let's take HIV, for example. Okay,
yes.
HIV, for instance. Up till now, I think it's believed that HIV does not have cure. There's no drug that can cure HIV, right?
That's correct.
Known cure for HIV as at now, right? Now,
yes.
Let's say one scientist or one doctor comes up suddenly and says, oh, finally, he has created a drug that can cure HIV. Okay? That would be a hypothesis. right? Because this man is coming up with
Yes.
a claim, this doctor, man or woman is coming up with a claim that he has something that cure the disease. Okay. Right. So that would be hypothesis, an hypothesis. Hypothesis because it's a proposition and it's yet to be proven. Okay. All right. So in this scenario, what is the null hypothesis?
Is an alternative hypothesis.
So the null hypothesis is that there is no cure for the infection yet, and the alternative hypothesis is the drug that the is it the person that just invented, and so
Yes.
that particular drug has to be tested to be sure if it's effective or not. So
Okay.
the existing fact that there is no drug yet, like there is no cure for that infection, is the null hypothesis.
The null hypothesis. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. But in defining your null hypothesis, yeah, your idea is correct, but you have to be more specific because now, I mean, you are saying that, you don't just say that the HIV does not have cure. You are going to specify, streamline it to that particular drug. Do you understand? Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you have to streamline it. So you say the drug cannot cure HIV. So that would be the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis, because as of now, we don't believe there's any drug that can cure HIV. So the null hypothesis would be that this drug that this man has brought also cannot cure HIV.
Would automatically without being proven.
Yeah, that's why it's null hypothesis. That's why we have two hypotheses. Okay. The null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. You get
Okay.
the alternative
Okay.
would say that the drug can cure HIV.
After being proven, or just
Before being proven.
okay, before being proven. Okay.
Yes, before being proven. So the test we are going to carry out will be to at the end of the test, HO will either be accepted or rejected. Okay.
Okay.
So let me expand this so
That's rejected.
clearly. So this is how hypothesis works, right? So you have to, when you are setting up your hypothesis, it's your hypothesis usually made up of the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is also called the research hypothesis. Okay, it's the alternative hypothesis that supports the claim that the person has come up with. The null hypothesis is the opposite of that. The null hypothesis is what is generally believed, which this alternative is trying to challenge.
Okay.
You understand? So this is how you set up hypothesis.
The general facts.
The general fact, okay, that is currently accepted or believed. Okay.
Please come again with the alternative.
Is that what?
Please come again with the alternative.
I said the alternative hypothesis, also called the research hypothesis, is based on the claim, the new claim, the new idea that has been brought up, raised to challenge the existing belief. That's the essence of
Okay.
hypothesis. The essence of hypothesis is to challenge something that already exists.
Okay.
Are you following? If you are not trying
Yes,
to
sir.
change something or challenge something, then there's no need for any hypothesis. Do you understand? Imagine
Yes, sir.
before airplanes were created. Then somebody comes up, he said he has made an airplane. He has made a sort of vehicle that can fly in the air.
It will sound weird.
Yes, you think people will just be happy? It's okay, bring the airplane, let's use it to travel.
Now witchcraft.
Yeah, okay. It will take a while, it will take a lot of testing before the people can have
Yeah.
confidence in it. Are you following?
Yes,
Today,
sir.
we take it for granted. I mean, it's like a common thing today. Why? Because, it has
It has
proven,
been tested and trusted
tested and proven over time.
over time.
Okay, that's why we are accepting it like this. But the first time when it started, it will be subjected to a lot of tests. Is this safe? Is it sustainable? And all that. Okay. So in such a case, the null hypothesis, assuming what is being tested is the sustainability or the safety, the null hypothesis will be saying that this new means of transportation is not safe. Okay. The
Okay. Yeah.
alternative
This
hypothesis
is
will say
reject.
that people may say it's not safe and it's not
It is safe.
sustainable, for example. Alternative will say that it is safe and sustainable.
It is safe and sustainable.
Yes, because that's the new
Hello,
idea.
sir. But
Yes. Okay. Yeah, your question.
and just like I think if I can remember, I don't know. Can there be two known hypotheses and two alternate hypotheses?
Yes, it can be. It depends on the
More
type
than
of it depends on the
two
nature
or
of
two?
the hypothesis. Usually one, but sometimes um sometimes you can break um for example, if you are using relational operations, then you can be talking about that. Let me give you an example of that. For instance, if you are trying to test if the average performance of students, okay, like we're talking about boys versus girls now, okay? If you are trying to test if the boys are doing better than the girls, right? So let's assume that someone comes up and says the girls are doing better, right? The girls are doing better than the boys. Okay. So the performance of girls is greater than boys. That will be that will be what? That will be the alternative hypothesis, because that is the new claim that someone is coming up with. And let's assume that before now, it has been believed
That the boys are doing
that,
better.
that the girls are not better. Okay? And the girls are not better. That has been the belief. That the girls are not better. So, if you are saying the girls are not better, then your HO will be what?
Be less than.
Is either the girls are less than, is either the girls are less than, or now
Who they wrote the
you could just do it like this. Okay? Alternatively, you can use,
The network is shaking.
are we all experiencing that? Is my network still? Are you okay? Are you guys hearing me clearly?
Yeah, we're hearing, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's dragging.
Okay. Okay, so is it that you present it this way? Okay, this is a kind of an example of situations where you have where you use double, but it's not really necessary to do that. Instead of having double HO, you can have one. You can do it this way.
So I'm not hearing you. I'm not getting. You don't think, you don't
1
think,
minute.
you don't think it's breaking?
So the choice is yours as to how you want to do it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So now let's move on. That's hypothesis. Of course, when you are doing hypothesis testing like this, the first thing you want to do is to formulate your hypothesis, right? Okay. What are the steps in hypothesis testing? Can anyone help us with the points
Setting up the hypothesis.
in hypothesis testing? Step number 1 is what?
Setting up the hypothesis.
Set up the hypothesis.
And you set up the
Setting up the hypothesis.
suitable level, or this suitable significance level.
Okay. Thank you. Number 2, set up.
The suitable level.
Okay. A suitable significance level, such as what? E.g.
E.g., you can say alpha is 0.05
5.
significant.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, thank you. Step number 3.
Set up the text
Criteria. Set up
the text criteria.
yeah, or choose. Is that my choose it correct? The test criteria. So you have to decide what kind of test are you doing? Are you doing test of mean?
Mean or text of
Okay,
variance.
proportions or what? And then also you have to decide on the particular model to use. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what else do you do?
Perform calculations.
The calculations. Thank you. And finally,
Make your decisions.
make your decision or interpret results. So these are the steps in hypothesis testing. You set up the hypothesis. In other words, you define the null and the alternative hypothesis. Choose a suitable significance level. Of course, the popular one is 0.05.
0.05.
Yeah, but it depends on the kind of research you are doing. For life-threatening researches, for researches that are very critical to life, for example, usually you want to use very low significance level. Okay? Maybe
0.05.
maybe 0.001 or something. For example, in medical researches, you don't use 0.5. You use something lower than that. Okay.
Why is it like that in that case?
It's like that because you are for example, you are dealing with drugs. Okay. Drugs. Like we're talking about HIV drug now, right? You want to use very low value for like this, for example. Why? Because the lower the significance level, the higher the reliability. Just put it that way. Ability of the result.
Okay.
Yes. Reliability of the results. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it's like this, right? Let's say you are using 0.001. What you are indirectly saying is that the level of error that is acceptable is something like 0.1% error that is acceptable. You understand?
Okay.
That's what you are saying. Okay. Or let me put it the other way. You are saying that 99.9% accuracy is required. That's what you are indirectly saying by choosing this, which is this.
Okay.
You are indirectly saying that 99.9% accuracy is required. Why? Because 100 minus 100% minus 0.1, that's 99.9%. Okay, is it clear? So for medical researches, usually the significance level is low. Okay, which is to say, you can put it in the other way. The significance level is low, or the confidence interval is high. Confidence interval in this case will be 99.9, right? Significance is 0.1. Okay, so you set up a suitable significance level, then you choose the test criteria, maybe test of mean using t-tests, or test of mean using ANOVA, whatever. Okay, then perform the calculations, interpret. Please let's mute to avoid the sound. Okay, so usually in testing hypothesis, you have to be able to carry out all these steps, which I think we have dealt with already. Okay, we are just doing a review. Okay, so can we move on?
Yes.
So that's the review of hypothesis testing. It's just a general review. We are not delving into all the details and all that, which we have done. Okay. All right. So now let's look at a review of the test of mean. Specifically, what I'm interested in here is I just want to clarify the difference between z-tests and t-tests. When do you use which? Z-test versus t-test. Okay, that's the goal. Just to demystify, clarify that. Okay, I think we talked more about t-tests. We didn't say much about z-test.
That's true.
So let's see. Let's talk about that. Now, both of them, like we already know, both of them are tests of mean. They are both tests of mean. Okay, so they are both tests of mean. So what we are doing right now, we are trying to review tests of mean of two samples. Of course, the two generally adopted normal methods are the z-test versus t-test. Now, z-test is generally used for large samples, first of all, okay? When the sample is large and when the variance is known, you use z-test, okay? When the sample is large and your variance is known, use t-test, okay?
And the variance is known or no?
Known.
Okay, no.
When sample is large, the sample is large, and what?
Variance
Variance
is known.
is known. Variance is known. The test for that. Use the test. Okay. So when the variance, which variance are we talking about? I mean population variance.
Yeah.
When population variance is known. Generally, let's put it this way. When your variance is known, generally, once your variance is known, use your z-test. Let's say z-test. When variance is known, use a z-test. Which variance? When population variance is known. When I say variance, I mean population variance. Okay. We generally want to use a z-test. Okay. One reason why t-test is used a lot because a lot of times the variance is not known. But if, for example, another situation is, let's say, if variance is not known, variance is not known, but population is, sorry, sample is large. Okay, you can still use z-test.
That is confusing.
Okay, any question on that?
Yes, these two statements, the two statements looks opposites. Doesn't look. It's like you say z-test can be used when population variance is known.
Yes.
That is like it's a given. Okay. Then the other case, you say when variance is not known or sample is large.
Yes.
Can you explain, sir?
Okay.
The figure.
Because you said when variance is not given, it's t-test.
Okay. I said when population variance is known, you use z-test. You can use z-test, right?
Yes.
But if the variance is not known, but the sample is large, okay, you
Okay.
can
mean
substitute the variance of the sample for the population variance.
It's okay.
Okay.
So what you are saying,
So-
essence,
You
is that
understand now?
if
Yes.
we get our sample,
Mm.
we can work out the variance. Is that
Yes.
what you are trying to say?
Yes, and use it.
So, but the
What
other
if you-
case, which is number one,
Mm.
that is when we are given the variance directly.
Directly. Thank you.
Okay.
You understand now?
So yes, it's clear.
Okay.
What if the sample is low?
If the sample is low,
Yeah, that's when we use t-test.
yes, thank you. So if you have if for t-tests, if what do you call if variance is not known, and population, and sample